point. So do you see? Do you expect going forward to see more maintenance and work done on some of these offshore vessels that has basically been pent up and not been made because of production environment costs and stuff?
Yeah, definitely there'll be an increase in that activity. As I say, in this particular downturn, it's been a slower increase than previously, but nevertheless there will be an increase and it will be coming. And yeah, there's going to be capacity in the market because there's a lot of these third-party subcontracting companies that have simply disappeared, bust, sold up, various, so there's going to be space in the market for additional players, if you like, additional subcontractors due to that skills and equipment shortage, if you like.
And has that equipment maintenance cycle that's been kind of been pent up from delays, has that already started to run through to like some of these diving companies, or has that not hit their kind of?
No, it is starting to run through. I was speaking to a friend of mine last week who has a couple of assets, and they now have, for one of those assets anyway in particular, they have 100 days backlog for next year booked in their schedule now. So it's coming. That's for sure.
It's coming. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
That's helpful. That's helpful context. Okay. So
100 days backlog for next year at this point is pretty good going based on the last maybe 5 years, I would say, but certainly last 3. But even up to 5, we're probably typically seeing 40 to 60 days backlog for the following year. So 100 days secured already, and the tendering activity in the market is absolutely going through the roof. As a company I've been speaking to, it has 2 assets. Again, they've tendered somewhere in the region of 400 plus projects for next year and the year after, this year alone.
And those are diving companies that are doing maintenance underwater?
Diving companies, yeah.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah.
So
to give you a feel for it, and that's probably a dozen people working on each. Certainly out of that 400 plus tenders, I would say probably somewhere in the region of 30 to 40% of those have been pretty major projects that they've been tendering for and have involved, a dozen people within an organisation to put together and actually propose to a client. So there's a fair bit of spending now in that area. So it's encouraging that the projects are starting to come to life again now for the next year and beyond.
Yeah, that makes sense. And is it's a silly question, stupid question, but just for the sake of clarity, is it just purely is the uptick now in activity purely driven by the price of oil and the recovery there, or is there anything else that drives whether these offshore offshore drilling entities are kind of running full speed or not?
Yeah, there's. The primary factor is, yes, the price of oil, without a doubt. But again, by country, and certainly speaking from the UK, being based here, there's been new in the recent budget we had last month, for instance, there's been some incentives issued, I guess, by the Parliament to try and encourage productivity again back here in the UK North Sea. So the operators have got some tax relief in certain areas for exploration and production. So that's a part of it. So that's 2 elements, I guess: the oil price, the tax, the government's tax benefits, if you like, and the third one is, I suppose, the cost to actually extract it out of the ground has decreased somewhat. I think some of them are reporting, 10 to 15% to take a barrel, $10 to $15 to take a barrel out of the ground, if you like, versus before we were modelling on, somewhere